Hey, what's up? It's Psavage, and a new trailer for NIGHTREIGN came out, and I thought I'd react to it. Also, I found out about some big spoilers that kind of popped up on my feed on X, so I was gonna go over that. So I'll go over the big spoilers that I found towards the end, so that way, you know, if you don't want to watch that, that's fine. You can peace out. I'll give a big warning before I go over the spoilers. Of course, there's spoilers in the trailer, but what I'm going to go over later is a little outside of the realm of just like the regular kind of trailer content. But a lot of what I went over in my first reaction, I was right about it. And I think a lot of that came down to my experience in Elder Scrolls Online and other kind of like fast-paced co-op centered games. So let's just get right into it. I'll play this and then I'll just kind of stop it as I go and we can talk about it. But here we go.
Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN is a co-op survival action game where you navigate a vast and dangerous field with other players. You must become one of the Nightfarers, fighting through the endless night and taking on scores of vicious foes over the span of 3 days.
So that is pretty much says it all about the game. And also, so the network test has passed, which I actually tried to get into, but I didn't hear anything back. No big deal. I was kind of sad about it, but you know, I tried. I tried really hard to get in there. But the network test went really well. It was actually really hilarious watching the network test because it was a lot of the kind of different, like the big streamers kept separating with their team, and then their chat would be like, "Get back with your team," like team-centered kind of like content. They were trying to get the like the streamers to like be more team-centered. But my hypothesis was kind of like correct, where a lot of these Dark Souls players, like they're used to single player kind of stuff. So I noticed, yeah, a lot of players were kind of going off and they were doing their own thing. And then like some of them, and these are like some of the most elite players in Elden Ring in the world who were doing this network test. So it was very easy for them to just go off on their own and fight and succeed. But I really think when the game comes out, that's not going to be the case for everybody. Where if you go off on your own, I think you're going to find yourself like, you know, in dire straits. You're going to die and you're going to lose a level.
Once a country that thrived thanks to the power of gods, Limveld is now nearing its end, gradually being eroded by the night that has saturated the land. You will be deployed to Limveld to hunt the Nightlords as a level 1 character. In your current state, you won't stand a chance against that type of overwhelming power. You must gain the strength to survive by moving swiftly and skillfully. It's up to you to choose your route within the limited time you have before night falls. You can choose to hunt enemies and level up. Search for treasures, weapons, and items. Infiltrate bases guarded by soldiers to gather information from hidden operational maps.
So this part is what I was really excited about when I saw. And during the network test, I saw some of this where people would go into these and they'd find these maps and you can like click on them or activate them in some way. And it actually shows on your map like where there's talismans and kind of different things, where I think this is going to be a big part of the co-op aspect, where instead of just like, you know, falling into the game, especially if you're on Discord with people, you can kind of make a plan and be like, oh, like, let's go try to do this, or you know, let's split up and try and get the talismans, because when you activate these maps, the talismans are on scarabs. Those like scarabs that roll away and you have to like destroy the scarab and then you get the talisman. And they're all over the place. So you might have to like plan out like kind of who's going to go out and do what. But another thing they mentioned was they were like, you can choose. Like, I think throughout this whole like trailer thing, there's a big emphasis on they're saying like, it's your choice. Choose, choose, choose. And I love that. That's so great because I think a big part of like the Souls player base is like they love having that flexibility where they're not so much like on the rails constantly. Like, yeah, a lot of the Souls games are linear, but they have, options. They can create, like, you can create a million different builds with NIGHTREIGN. You can, focus on going and getting these big camps or Everjails, so on and so forth.
Or challenge powerful enemies, wandering the land and lurking in heavily infested fortresses to obtain equally powerful rewards. Whether you choose to move together or divide and conquer, your character's skills, playstyle, and traits should guide your priorities. The layout of Limveld will change each time you visit, with every expedition, bases, types of enemies, chest reward.
So one thing that I called out was this stuff in my first review, and I was saying that this kind of like organic material is something that's like infected the land, and I was right, because once you get to the Nightlord at the end, you go and there's this like long expanse. That's what this is like made of. So you see this like weird kind of coral like structure all over the place, and I think that's kind of evidence of, the Nightlord's presence or whatever is taking over Limveld.
And other features of the field will fluctuate. Sometimes your exploration may be interrupted by enemy ambushes.
Yo, okay, so
encounter
Morgott is my favorite boss in Elden Ring. A lot of people hate Morgott because his moveset is so unpredictable, and like some of his attacks are borderline undodgeable. Well, some people would argue they're dodgeable because you can run away, but there are some of them that will roll catch you no matter what. But anyway, I'm so excited to get invaded by Morgott because, first of all, in the network test, his music played, and that OTS is a banger. And what happened is he actually targets one person on your team. So you have a team of 3. So he'll target one person and just relentlessly go after them and after them and after them until you kill like the invader. So I'm excited to see what other, like, are we going to be running around Limveld and just get like invaded by Millennia or something crazy like that?
Unpredictable events, like sudden meteor strikes.
Yeah, so look at this. This meteor strike, this is a falling star beast. So that makes sense. It's funny because a lot of the stuff is based off lore of Elden Ring. So a falling star beast is literally like a gravity magic entity. So it makes sense that a meteorite falling from the sky is a falling star beast. And that's so cool that this is a random encounter.
Even more dramatic changes can also appear, like erupting volcanic craters bubbling with lava.
Check it out. So the volcanic, this is a fire prelate from Elden Ring, and this is see this thing? This over here is one of those spirit trees that you can summon the eagle out of. And in the first trailer, you actually see one of the Nightfarers use this exact tree, because underneath all of this is lava, to fly up here. I just cannot wait to do that. It's going to be so dynamic and amazing.
Or dark forests.
Okay, this is what I was really curious about, is there going to be rot? And this looks like it's going to be rot.
Shrouded with corruption. The rots anyone who dares explore.
Check it out.
In this constantly shifting world, you will face new choices as the battlefield evolves.
Okay, I saw this and I was like, what the heck is this? And I was thinking to myself, like, from Elden Ring, like lore and stuff like that, what could this be? And then I was like, is it Astal? Like, is this something kind of along the lines of, falling star, gravity magic, and all of that? Like, can you go into these? Is this a portal? Like, I'm not sure. I'm excited to see what they are.
With each expedition, evaluate every situation.
Yeah, okay, so Madness Tower trolling us when we are running. So if you go up towards, like on your way to Altus in Liurnia, there's the Madness area where there's a tower just like this, and you have to kill the enemies on top of the tower. in order to deactivate this. So my thought is the way they're going to do this is there's going to be these in the map. So if you want to traverse this area without constantly getting madness, you're going to have to run up in here, kill the enemies to deactivate this. So the network test is one thing, and then I think the real game is going to be like, hold my beer. It's going to be just absolutely, I just don't think it's going to be what the marketing is saying, and I'll kind of explain that.
Use your skills to fight back and survive through the night. As darkness blankets Limveld, the night's tide will begin to cover the field, narrowing your range of traversal. And as night falls, you will be driven towards an unavoidable confrontation.
So I was told that this is a Dark Souls 2 boss, and I'm not super... Dark Souls 3 is the one I'm the most familiar with because I played through that entire game, but this boss I'm not familiar with. But I've told that in Dark Souls 2, a lot of the bosses are slow and clunky, and they addressed this because one streamer that actually like went and did one of their events said that they have new movesets. Like they took the legacy bosses and they changed, not Elden Ring, but they took the old school Souls bosses that they're putting into the game and they like, you know, turned them up to kind of the Elden Ring speed. So, you know what I mean? If you're expecting the moveset in Dark Souls 2, like think again.
A harsh battle ensues as various powerful enemies arrive. Some of your allies may fall before their mighty attacks, but this isn't the end. Critically injured allies can rejoin the fight if you attack them using your skills and weapons. You can also rescue them from afar, using tools like bows or magic. These battles are tough, but don't give up. Use all the powers you have gathered in Limveld to survive and overcome.
Check that out. You know, they killed it with the gameplay footage. It's incredible.
8 Nightfarers assembled to defeat the Nightlord. Each Nightfarer possesses...
Yo, I can't wait to play this guy. It's like a Dex. You know, this is the Dex dude. Well, no, not... He's a Dex build kind of character. There's another, like a deflect build, but I'm so pumped for this dude.
Possesses different weapons and unique passive abilities, skills, and ultimate arts. Wilder, a knight proficient in a wide range of melee weapons.
Wilder, I think, is like the vagabond. This is the dude, this is the bread and butter guy that most people, I think, are going to find super satisfying. And then also, one thing I heard from a good source is that Wilder, like certain Nightfarers, have unique movesets. So say, for example, you get a great sword and you're on Wilder. Your great sword moveset is going to be unique. But if you get the same great sword on all the other Nightfarers, it's going to be standard Elden Ring moveset. So what that tells me is that each class is going to have a new moveset, so that way it feels totally new, something new to learn. And then also, I think the moveset is actually going to make it easier. So for example, say like your R1 window was like, I don't know, 1 second. Maybe when Wilder uses that same greatsword, it's 3/4 a second instead of a full second for that R1. So what that means, what that tells me is that ease of use on certain armaments is going to be dependent on which Nightfarer you play. I mean, we'll find out, but I think that is so smart that they would do that.
You can throw grappling hooks to pull enemies, or swiftly close distances. You can also launch explosive iron spikes that deal a powerful blow to any.
Like this, I saw so many people using this, and this just looks like the most satisfying ultimate. So in a lot of co-op games, the ultimate ability is like, this is not a new thing. you know, in, for example, like Elder Scrolls Online, there's an ultimate ability and it charges up and it's like your big damage output. But I don't know, this is one of the most satisfying ultimate skills I've ever seen in a game.
Enemy. Guardian. A warrior equipped with a massive shield. Excels in defense. Their skill, Whirlwind, can lift enemies off their
So Guardian?
feet.
Oh, Guardian has like a pretty cool, right here.
Their art, Wings of Salvation, repels approaching enemies and deploys a magic circle to save allies from dire situations.
So Guardian, his ultimate ability will be able to res a fallen ally no matter what level they're at. So when you go down in NIGHTREIGN, there's different levels. So the first time you go down, you get 1 tick, where someone might have to hit you 2 times to res you. The second time you go down, it might take 4 hits. And then the third time you go down, it might take 6 hits. This dude's ultimate, no matter what level you're on, he does the ultimate, it will automatically res you. And then also, don't sleep on Guardian. Like, if you're playing NIGHTREIGN and you tried Wilder and you've tried Recluse and like you think maybe Guardian's going to be boring, everything I've heard is Guardian is one of the most tanky and fun, hard-hitting classes. So, and his health pool is huge. So I actually have a lot of, I'm thinking I might end up leaning into Guardian quite a bit because, like, me with Elden Ring, after thousands of hours, like, my favorite combat style is kind of more of a support. You know what I mean? Like a support. And when I play like ESO, I'm more healer. So I don't know. I think Guardian's going to be the sneak attack as far as, you know, he seems the most chill and not so exciting, but I think he's going to be one of the most useful Nightfarers.
Ionine, an archer who never misses a foe's weakness, controls enemies from a distance.
Oh,
His
wait.
marking skill injures and pressures the enemy, greatly disrupting their poise and creating openings to exploit. This is a bow backstab. Art single shot fires a supersonic arrow that pierces through every enemy and obstacle, ensuring no escape. Duchess, a virtuous thief.
Okay, so this blew my mind. Each of these characters is going to have lore, but the Duchess, I was trying to figure out what the deal was. First of all, she's very Dark Souls 3, like Firekeeper vibe, but it says she's a virtuous thief, and I was just like, that blew my mind. And then there was someone said her ultimate ability is called Restage, and so this is FromSoft. This is why FromSoft is so amazing. So they can't say rewind, right? Because what it does is it replays damage. So for example, if she does 1000 damage and she uses her ult, it will almost reverse time as if she didn't do that damage and then do it again. But they couldn't use the word rewind because rewinding tapes and stuff wasn't invented until the future. And because this is like back in, you know, time with swords and shields and magic and stuff, they used Restage. How smart is that? Like, that writing is just crazy. This is the stuff that I pick up on that, like, a lot of people when they play these games, they're like, okay, you know, how much damage do I do? What's the sword? Like, Elden Ring and FromSoft, they just kill it when it comes to like little details like that. That it's almost like writing a novel when they make games.
With quick reflexes, uses her cunning to confuse enemies. After attacking, she can use the skill Restage to reenact what just happened and deal damage again. Her art finale hides her and nearby allies from the enemy's view, giving them a chance to adjust their positions or create an ambush. Raider, a seafarer who is resilient and unyielding in battle, doesn't flinch at minor attacks, and rampages through enemies. His skill Retaliate strikes back with a powerful blow that cannot be interrupted by enemy attacks. His art Totem Stellar summons a colossal gravestone, that serves as an attack to dispel enemies, acts as a wall to block projectiles, and amplifies the strength of allies through its protective aura.
So, like, keep that in mind when you see Recluse, because I can just imagine Recluse on top of that totem just, like, nuking and just DPSing the ever-living heck out of enemies.
Recluse, a wielder of ancient magic, collects the elemental attributes attached to enemies and allies to produce different types of powerful magic, such as lightning-based or fire-based spells. Her art, Soul Blood Song, can also brand foes with an archaic glyph of blood that allows allies to recover health and magic by attacking them. By mastering the style, skill, and ultimate arts of these Nightfarers.
So this dude, they don't really talk about him too much, but this is kind of like the Sekiro kind of character where he's like doing all the deflects. So when I was saying that Iron Eye is like a very Dex character, this guy, this is the Dex character, but this dude, like Raider, I'm not really sure. It's like I can say that I'm trying to say certain Nightfarers are going to lend themselves to different skill sets where, like me, I'm not a good parrier. Like parrying is not a thing for me. I'm okay. Like I can parry if I absolutely have to, but I don't know, this guy with the deflect and the parries, I just think this isn't going to be my dude, but I'm going to try him.
You may be able to survive and defeat the Knight.
And then this lady is the Revenant. Now, they don't really talk about it, but I think Revenant... So, if this is like any other game like this, you're going to have to play through the campaign in order to unlock certain Nightfarers. So I'm thinking this one's going to be one of those where like you might have to like collect a bunch of points or something to redeem this Revenant character, which I'm hoping that this is like a spirit tuner. I've been craving for a spirit tuner kind of a build where, you know what I mean, you're summoning allies, not a necromancer, like a spirit tuner, where in Elden Ring, spirit tuning is Rodrika. She has the God-given ability to speak to spirits. She is by birthright a spirit tuner, and it's like Hugh who lets her know, like, hey, what's up, like, you know, you can talk to the ghosts, here's what I know. I think this is kind of, I'm hoping that this is kind of like Rodrika's like BF, like best, like sister or something, you know what I mean, where she can summon maybe, who knows, lions, whatever.
The Hidden Round Table Hold serves as a base for Nightfarers preparing for battle in Limveld. Relics recovered from expeditions can enhance your abilities when equipped before deployment. Relics have a diverse assortment of effects, ranging from increasing stats to altering the performance of skills. Different relic combinations can alter your gameplay experience, so try out different approaches and see what suits you best for the journey ahead. In a corner of the back room, a small jar merchant operates a bazaar selling various goods. Once you accumulate the currency Merc, earned as battle rewards, it might be worth checking what's on sale. Using the fitting mirror, you can unlock new costumes with Merc and change your appearance.
So with this Merc stuff, this is FromSoft's version of microtransactions, where it's not, you don't have to pay any money. All you have to do is play the game. You play the game, you collect this Merc currency, and then you can unlock stuff, which, amazing. 10 out of 10. I don't know how else they could have done this better.
These outfits allow you to change your Nightfarer's style to suit your tastes. Some costumes might even look familiar.
Yeah, this is what people were like losing their minds over, is this oh my god, why can't I think of his name right now? I'm losing it. Oh my god, I'm fired. Anyway, I can't remember his name, but the sun dude, sun bro. Anyway, write the comment and tell me what his name is. I know what it is. This is DS2. I don't know who this guy's from totally, completely, but it's people are like losing their mind, and it makes sense that this guy is part with the Guardian, you know, praise the sun, you know, all that kind of dude. And it's like a broken wing, like angel flies up to, you know, like there's that biblical story with him flying up to the sun, but his wings melted. But I don't know, man. People are losing their mind. I can't wait for these skins. I just really am hoping that there is some other kind of like NPC skins. Like, I think if they have Ronnie, like Ronnie's outfit for Recluse, people, that is going to go so hard for people. And then also, I am just praying that there is an Abyss Watcher skin, because the Abyss Watcher set is my favorite set. Because I was thinking to myself, like, that bow dude with an Abyss Watcher outfit, or Wilder with Abyss Watchers, I don't know. So good.
As you battle against the night, fragments of your lost memories may return, giving you glimpses of who you once were. By recovering these fragments of lost memory, you can fill in the blanks of your Nightfarer's blurred recollections. In these memories, conversations with other Nightfarers or residents of the Round Table Hold might reveal new objectives. Achieving these goals during adventures in Limveld will help unravel the past, revealing each Nightfarer's origins and purposes. See why they have come together at this Round Table Hold, and why they fight. The Nightlords are the ultimate threat, waiting for players on the third day in Limveld. The Nightfarers are the only warriors remaining who can stop them and save this land from total obliteration. Battling a Nightlord, a being that boasts overwhelming attack power and toughness, will be more challenging than anything faced in Limveld. However, there are ways to resist this threat. By carefully navigating Limveld.
So it's saying by carefully navigating Limveld, acquire more powerful tools and weapons, right? So my big thing is I'm trying to figure out, how is this, is it the same difficulty each time? Like Tricephalos or the three-headed beast, is that going to be technically the same difficulty level as, for example, one of the other ones that were shown? Like, how is the difficulty going to progress? Because I'm going to go over in a little bit more on that, but I don't think the difficulty is very clear right now.
Acquiring more powerful tools and weapons with attributes effective against each Nightlord. Discovering relics and growing as a fighter through experience and observation.
And they show Astel, but I don't think Astel is a Nightlord.
Victory against the Nightlord will be within reach. Set forth on this thrilling and fast-paced...
Yeah, why do we... And yeah, I saw this, and why does Godfrey have... Not Godfrey, Godric. Why does Godric have a Crucible incantation-looking thing going on?
Adventure.
See, it's crazy.
Filled with danger and achievement. Dare to stand together against the fall of night.
So that's the preview, and a big thing that I was kind of saying is, when I first kind of reacted to the first trailer, was that I was looking for a boss fight that would be paced in a way that wouldn't be like, kind of like in Elden Ring, when you co-op with other players, if the person has the right build, they can just go in and literally 3, 4, 5 shot the boss if you have high enough weapons. But everything came true from my first reaction that I was kind of wishing for. I was wishing for clearing areas going towards an objective. So you have to go into Limveld, right? You have to level up, and then it kind of culminates into the big bang Nightlord boss fight. There's the middle of the ground where you do that kind of like at the end of day 1, you have like that big boss in the middle. But the thing is, how it becomes difficult is you can res your plate. So in Limveld, if you die, you go back to a grace, but you lose a level. That's the consequence. During the middle fight, if you go down, a player can res you. But in the final fight, if you go down and everyone on your team goes down at once, you fail. So that's kind of where the difficulty goes in, and you have to restart the whole mission. Like, there's no second chances in the boss fight. And are the bosses going to be progressively difficult? Because, so a warning now, I have an image that I got on X, but big spoiler warning. So if you don't want any like big, huge spoilers that aren't in this trailer, you know, click off now. And I hope to see you in the next one. So I'm going to wait. I'll give it 5 seconds for everyone. Bye. Adios. All right. I'm going to bring it up. It's an image I found. So this is what I found on X. And it is a snip of a list of the different bosses. And I think where they got this, there was I think it was PAX maybe, there was a game convention where people were playing NIGHTREIGN, and I think they snipped this from kind of the people playing it. So the bosses it's showing is Tricephalos, Gaping Jaw, Sentinel Pest, Sentient Pest, Augur, Equilibrious Beast, Dark Drift Knight, and the Fissure in the Fog, which looks like a dragon. So, right, how many is this? Like 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 7 bosses. Apparently, there is an 8th right here that's not on here. But it kind of gives you a sneak peek into this. And what I'm thinking is the further down we go, the more difficult the boss is. And I think you can do an expedition and you kill this boss, right? And it marks it off or something, like defeated. And then you do an expedition, defeated, and then so on, so on, so on, so on, until you kill all the Nightlords. And then I think my hypothesis is that once you kill all the Nightlords, you will unlock something, like another Nightfarer, something like that. But there's also a DLC coming out. So the DLC you can buy with the pre-order, where it will give you, I believe, 2 new Nightfarers and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'm not sure. I didn't see any DLC weapons in Limveld. So I'm kind of thinking what they're going to do is have a DLC, much like Shadow of the Erdtree, where the DLC will be released. It'll be an entirely different map, but it will be themed off of Shadow of the Erdtree. And it'll be, I don't know, instead of Graveside Plain or whatever, Land of Shadow, it'll be, maybe we will just go to the Land of Shadow and it'll be a modified version of that instead of Limveld. I'm not sure. But I was kind of bummed out because, yeah, there's only one map. But let me finish talking about this before I keep blabbing on. But okay, so I want to get a good look at these guys. Okay, so the first one was Tricephalos. This is the 3-headed dog that we saw. This is the Gaping Jaw. We did see that in the trailer. This is the Sentient Pest, which looks like some sort of a insect, but I can't quite make it out. This is Augur, which I can't hardly see anything there. The Equilibrious Beast. This is the dude that I thought looked like a perfumer. Like, it had perfumer type designs. Dark Drift Knight. I think this is the guy that has the horse's legs. And then this is the Fissure of the Fog. I don't know. It looks like some sort of a dragon. But I thought that was pretty interesting. These little pictures don't really tell us much, so it's not a huge spoiler, but I don't know. It was enough. I scrolled in and I ran into it, and I was like, whatever. I don't feel super spoiled because, like, they're just little previews, but I'll put this back on in the background, and I just want to talk about a couple of the things that I'm somewhat, I don't know if disappointed is the word. Some things that are kind of a bummer. The first thing is there's no other map. From what I can tell, it is Limveld. That's it. That's all. That's the map. But I'm thinking from what we've seen in this preview that Limveld is going to change in a way that is so different each time. And I also heard someone who had played the full release game say that it changes a lot. And the encounters, like those surprise encounters, are difficult. Like, so, they can be really, really difficult. The other thing that I was kind of bummed out about is there's no invaders. They do have a way of having invaders where you can be quote unquote invaded by like Duchess. Like, you could walk into a castle and suddenly Duchess will, like a random Duchess will pop out and attack you, which I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, I think it's kind of hokey. Like, for me, if I was playing Duchess and Duchess came at me and they looked exactly like me, it just reminds me of Mimic Tier. So if you think about it, like in base game Elden Ring, I just reminds me of Mimic Tier. Like, I'm being actually invaded. I'm being attacked by Mimic Tier rather than another Duchess. Unless they change their outfit. Like, maybe they'll change the outfit or the look of a Duchess. Maybe they'll be mad, like a crazy Duchess or something. Well, they'll be influenced by madness or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, no invaders. I actually really, really think that invasions are going to come in the DLC. Because what they did in Elden Ring is they launched base game, and then after a little while, they released the Colosseums where you could duel with players. So I'm thinking maybe there's going to be some sort of a duel, but it will be 3-on-3. So in NIGHTREIGN, there will be duels, but it's going to be a 3-on-3 kind of duel on a map. So it's going to be maybe 3 teams, and it will be kind of a battle royale. I really think that's what they're going to do, because NIGHTREIGN invasions make sense, but what makes even more sense with the way they're making this game is a battle royale. And I was thinking battle royale when they first announced this, but I think they want to release it and just get it out the door. And for me, I think it's $40 for base game, and if you pre-order, you get an emote called "It's Raining," which I'm already pre-ordered. But the thing is, I think a battle royale system would be insane, where maybe they drop 4 teams of 3 into a map, and it's like maybe capture the flag or something like that, and it's like whichever team is left standing. The next thing is when I was going over the first reaction to the first trailer, before I saw the network test, I was saying that balancing is going to be like insanely important, and it's so true. The leveling system, there's no stats. You level up and your character stats are what they are. Like, you cannot customize stats at all. So if like you want if you want a vigor heavy character, you'll use Guardian because they have one of the largest health pools out of all the Nightfarers. If you want someone who is skilled with heavy weapons, like great swords, you use Rider. So it's very much, that's a balance thing. The reason why they did that is for balancing, because my biggest excitement with this is the fact that everything is going to be paced in a way that's super satisfying, and people aren't just going to be going in and slapping things and just one-shotting everything. It's going to be a challenge every time. Then the last thing I wanted to go over was, I think this is going to be I actually don't know how to say it without sounding like I'm complaining, but I think how they're marketing this, I think a lot of people are going to get it and they're going to start complaining about it, that it's too hard, because this is a co-op game, and from what I heard is that some of the like most skilled Elden Ring players in the world were playing this and still dying to the Nightlord. Like, and I believe what was quoted, actually I know what they quoted was, it was like a 10% success rate. So think of that. So you got a team of 3 of some of the best Elden Ring players in the world, and their success rate on the final boss is 10%. So if you get people like randoms in your team, I think that's going to be insane. Like, you're going to get a lot of time. And I hope people don't get discouraged. I hope people approach this just like any other Souls kind of like a Souls game where, yeah, repeat, learn the movesets, get better, improve, use all of your resources to take out the Nightlord, because it's not going to be a cakewalk. I think this is going to be really difficult. There's so few Nightlords. And I say few because, I don't know, I think 8 Nightlords is a lot, but I think it could be more. Like, when I was thinking about it, I thought there was going to be a pool of like 15 Nightlords. I thought my thought was there was going to be 2 dedicated maps. There was going to be Nightveld and then something that was maybe Shadow of the Erdtree related, or like maybe Caelid looking. And I thought there was going to be like 15 maybe Nightlords. But I think when everything is said and done and the DLC releases, I think we're going to have maybe 18 Nightlords and 2 large maps. Because this game, I think this is a filler game. This isn't Elden Ring. This isn't Dark Souls 3. I think this game is coming out as kind of like, you know, hey, you know, stay entertained while we create our next huge title, or our next, like, say Elden Ring 2. Like, I don't think Elden Ring 2 is going to come out until like at least 2027 or 2028. More likely their next big title will be 2030. So I think that it's amazing that we're even getting the product, like, thank God. And it's $40. Like, I think it's $40 for just base game. If you do the pre-order, you'll get the emote, It's Raining. And then I believe you can also get another version, which was a little more expensive, but it'll lock you in for the DLC. So, I mean, I think that's a ridiculously good price, especially because they're so clear with what you're getting for it, especially with this overview trailer. But I'll say that a big thing I'm hearing is that people are saying that, like, oh, the hardest thing about NIGHTREIGN is going to be finding 2 friends to play with. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally get that. Because a game that's this difficult, I know a lot of people are going to want to play with people who are at their same skill level. And what I'll say is there's a lot of ways that you can find people to play with. Because, like, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I don't have a lot of friends who just play NIGHTREIGN. So what I'll say is a lot of, like, the huge streamers have group passwords. They have Discords, all sorts of things like that. So what I'll say is, like, check out your favorite, you know, like, streamer, especially the Souls streamers. A lot of them are going to have communities. Join their Discords, like, do whatever you got to do, and you'll find people to play with. And I know there's going to be a single player mode, but I don't really know what's going to be going on with the scaling of the single player mode. There is no ability to play with just 2 people. It is only 3 people or single player. And single player, I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to scale it for single player, because I think they're just going to incentivize people to not play it co-op, which this entire thing is made for a co-op. So I don't really know how that's going to go, but I have a group password. Like, I don't have a lot of people who watch me, but it's Psavage. I'm going to put it in the links. Group passwords, if you don't know what those are, they go in your game multiplayer section, and all it really does is it connects you with people who are using the same group password. It's not an exclusive password, but what it does is it'll prioritize people in that group password before random players. So if that's the functionality, I'm thinking that's going to be the case, but I'm not totally sure. But the only one, I don't really ever mention any other, like, you know, streamer people, but the only one I will mention, I've been watching him for years. He has a really amazing community, and it's Lobos Jr. So if you want to check him out, check out his YouTube channel. And I know he uses a group password. I'm not going to give it out here, but I would, if you want to, check out Lobos. You can join his Discord and go from there. He has a huge group. They're really good people from what I know. From what I know. So I would check him out. And then, other than that, yo, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. Like, I fell in love with Elden Ring, you know, geez, years ago, and I couldn't even, you know, speak when the trailer for this dropped so randomly at the Game Awards, because this game is like an amalgamation of all the things that make Elden Ring great. The combat and the co-op, those are the two most amazing things. And then on top of it, like FromSoft artistry. Let's go. I can't even wait. But anyway, I'm going to be playing on launch. My group password will be in the description. But I think we're 2 weeks and like a day out, but let's go. I can't wait till it releases. Anyway, adios, be well, don't take life too seriously, and I'll see you in the next one.
Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN is a co-op survival action game where you navigate a vast and dangerous field with other players.